Hey Toronto, I'm Sykamore, and you're watching Q&A with Lady K.
I'm cussing at the dash, stuck in traffic. You're searching through the static for a good one. And we miss our reservations, and I'm complaining. You're calling in takeout, and we take it out on the loan. Well, I don't know how.
Well, congratulations on your new
Thank
EP, Self Medicine.
Thanks.
It's released on January 5th, and you clearly do not waste any time in the new year.
Yeah, it's starting off great. My year's just starting off with a bang.
Yeah, a huge bang. What's the significance of the title? Because when I saw it, Self Medicine, that really caught my eye.
Oh, good. That's what I hoped it would do. I guess it was hard to title a CD that's, taken place. All the songs are from different time periods in my life because it's taken place over, years of time. And so it was hard to kind of be like, is this a concept record? Like, it's not really about one person or one experience. It's about many. And so I really had to kind of zoom out and be like, okay, well, these songs for me, every time I wrote these songs, the one thing they had in common was they were all very cathartic and very therapeutic for me. And they were essentially me kind of self-medicating. And then the word kind of self-medicine, that term kind of kept rolling around, and I thought that might be kind of a cool title. And so I kind of ran with it, and I think it fits really well. And what I hope is that when people listen to it, they can apply the songs to their lives, and they can maybe find some like self-medicating or some therapy within that for themselves too.
Now, one of the producers that you worked with on this album is Joel Fraser,
Yeah.
who is really well known in the world of EDM.
Yeah, he's based out of Calgary, which is where I'm from, and I kind of pulled him. He's just a lot more, well-versed in like doing remixes and stuff like that, and he's a lot more into pop and stuff like that, but he's really getting into country now. And so I wanted to take his kind of EDM sensibilities and extract them and put them into a country song. And so we came up with track 2, which is called Playing the Fool. And it's definitely like one of the more pop-heavy songs on the record, and it has those little influences of EDM as well. And I think it was just a fun opportunity to like play with genre and kind of stretch boundaries a little bit and maybe show another side to myself that maybe I hadn't even seen before. And that's the cool thing about collaborating, is you come up with something that is a little bit of you and a little bit of the other person, and it's something you've never seen before.
Kamikaze, touching poison ivy. I just wanna make my bed and lay here, baby, with you. Like a bad habit, I just gotta have it for your love, and darling, I don't mind playing the fool. The fool.
Now, 2 songs on your EP were first released as singles.
That's right.
Better Half and Houseboat. So how do you decide what songs you want to release as singles?
I think in this case, a little bit it was timing, just because Houseboat was in kind of the first wave of songs that I had written and finished. And so when we were thinking of a single to kind of kick off this, promotion for the new record, Houseboat was just kind of a standout in that sort of lump of songs that we had pitched at first. And then Better Half came along maybe like 6 months later or so, and it was something that I wrote down in Nashville with 2 other writers, and I just got the demo back, and we were kind of thinking about doing a song like for a single to pitch it out, and Better Half came back, and we just really liked the demo, and I kind of opted to fast track it and be like, this is the one I want for the single. I kind of just like rushed it through with a gambit there.
Well, Better Half is my favorite song.
Oh, good.
Off the
Thanks.
album, just saying.
Awesome.
You just released a music video for that song a couple of weeks ago. So what was that experience like? Not only making a music video, but making your very first music video.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blast. It was in May, so it was super hot. We shot it just south of Calgary. And
I was gonna ask where you shot it,
yeah.
because like it's the picture perfect prairies.
Oh, I know, right? And it's just it looks like a highway, but it's actually this kind of private airport that we found, and that's kind of where the plane came in. There were planes just lying around, and so one of the guys was like, "Do you want me to fly a plane over?" And so it wasn't even planned. It wasn't even in the treatment, and he just kind of like flew over, and we got a couple shots. It was amazing, and it was a great first video experience for sure.
In a previous interview, you mentioned how much you love songwriting. What is it about writing that just appeals to you so much?
I said this to someone the other day, that my favorite thing about being an artist is just getting to put my custom kind of signature on things. And my favorite way to do that is to actually be in the room when the songs are being styled and when they're being written, because then they kind of have, like, I don't have a better word for this, but they have like my spirit in them, you know? I just love being creative in that way, and that's the freedom that writing gives you, I guess.
You recently signed with Nashville-based Home Team Publishing.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, one of the founders, Rhett Atkins, also discovered you on Twitter.
Yeah, it's such a funny story, just because Twitter is such a saturated, you know, marketplace, and I just kind of have it for my own fun. Like, I don't really ever expect to like have people talk back to me or anything else. So I ended up I followed Thomas Rhett first, who is Rhett's son, and then Twitter does this thing where it suggests other related people to follow, and Rhett was one of those people, and so I was like, oh sure, I'll follow this guy too. And then I got a follow back, which was crazy. I was like, that's cool, it doesn't happen very much. And then I had an inbox message later, and it was from him, and he basically said he'd checked my stuff out, and he was a fan, and he didn't know what I was up to, but he wanted to help. And literally a month later, we were sitting in his house, like talking about, actually, I guess, what would be my signing now. And so it was 2 years ago that we started planning it. And honestly, it was total fluke, and I feel super lucky that it happened. I wasn't trying to make anything happen, and it just sort of landed in my lap. And yeah, so now I'm signed down there, and I spend quite a bit of time just writing down there, learning from the best, and pretty lucky. It's a pretty crazy world.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And it is a great story to share.
It's a fun story. It's like, I always tell people, he's like my Scooter Braun, like the guy who discovered Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Like, that's him for me, I guess.
Last question for you. Your real name is Jordan Ostrom.
That's right.
So where did Sykamore come from?
I'd been in some bands before, and so when I decided to like go solo, I didn't want to use my real name. Just, I guess maybe I was a little bored of it, or I don't know, but I decided if I'm gonna have like a stage name, I wanted it to be something that reflected the music that I made. And so it was like, well, how would you describe your music, kind of to myself? And all the words that were coming to mind were like rootsy and tenacious and organic, and it all felt very kind of tree-esque. And so I thought, well, maybe there's a cool tree name that I could kind of model it after. And Sykamore was one of the first that just kind of jumped out. And of course, it's spelled differently, just for some like signature, I guess, or some avoiding copyright.
To make your mark.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, it's honestly, if you would hear Rhett tell the story, he said the reason why he clicked on my name was because it said Sykamore, and he was a little bit intrigued. So I guess it ended up working in my favor to change my name a little bit. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was lovely chatting with you.
Yeah.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Self-Medicine. Great album.
Thank you so much.
And I know you mentioned your very first debut album, Pedal.
That's right.
It was released 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what the next 5 years bring.
Thank you.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Strut Entertainment for facilitating this interview. Oh hey! Have you hit the subscribe button yet? Because I'd hate for you to miss more videos like this one.